welcome to the Toffee Blues, your talk for all things Everton, and welcome to the match preview segment for Everton versus Manchester City on Wednesday evening. Of course, this is a rematch of the game that was postponed in late December due to a COVID outbreak in the City squad, and it's been very conveniently rescheduled right before the Merseyside derby just to make it extra fun and, add a little side plot into all that. Of course, I'm joined by Terry and Owen for this. Terry, looking ahead to the City game, obviously we're coming off the back of a really disappointing result. How do we set up differently against City? How do we stop a team as good as City from troubling us? Obviously, we let a poor side trouble us the other day. What do we have to do differently?
Maybe we should just all say we've got COVID and then go to the Premier League and get this game postponed again and not consult City and just tell them that it's not on. And then see if they're fine with it and see if they've got a problem with it, because they seemed to have a problem when we weren't happy about that last time. The only good way we can approach this game is if we approach it the same way we approached December when we had all the injuries and we were playing Chelsea and Arsenal and everyone else and Leicester. Go into it with a backs against the wall mentality, eyes down, clean sheet mentality.
That's been said twice tonight, and I haven't said it once.
I've been trying to bait you into saying it. No, genuinely though, go into it like that. Get it settle yourself on the best back four, which I think at the minute is probably Godfrey right back, Mina Keane, and Dean left back. Or go for the four centre backs across the back four if you want to go really full and put Dean further up. But set yourself out to be strong, compact. Play the low block with the counter and then just, do that. Go at the game the same way we went at the games in December. City are a much better team than any team we faced then, but they're not unbeatable. Like we have, let's be honest, I think we can all admit, fans and players we haven't wanted to beat City for a few years, so we don't know whether we can beat City. Well, most of us haven't wanted to beat City for a couple of years, or we've not minded losing to City. So when we're really trying to beat City, maybe we can go back to the old days where we were City's bogey team. We used to beat them all the time. But honestly, they're a great team. 15 wins in a row they've had. That's got to end eventually, either with a draw or with a defeat. And why not us? We've shocked people this season. There's been very up and down form for a lot of teams.
We've shocked people in both directions, it seems.
Exactly. We've got, they've got quality players all over the pitch, but we've got some things that they're not looking forward to facing up to. They don't want to, they're not looking forward to playing against Calvert-Lewin. He was giving City nightmares when he wasn't even that good when he was younger. He used to always play well against City. He could do it again. So on and so forth. Possibly. I think he said he'd be fit for this one, but it wasn't for Fulham. I don't know. It's a game we can win. It's a game we can draw. I'll take a draw now. They're a very good team, but it's not this game where you go, no point even watching this one. We're not going to get anything. We can give City a game. We can beat City if the cards fall right.
We just got to be nasty about it. I think we just got to be put in a nasty performance. We were way too nice against Fulham, way too obliging, way too nonchalant. We've got to be blood and thunder. They're the performances that delivered us for us this season. We saw it against Spurs. I think we need something along the lines of the Spurs performance, just maybe not as, I think certainly the fight from that performance, but definitely not the defensive erraticness.
I'm looking at the Chelsea game in the season. I think if we approach it the same
way, yeah.
We just missed out the midfield completely that night and just defended. If we do that, we won't get beat 5 or 6-0. That's all I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's one of them. For me, it's limit the damage. I'll be honest. It is literally.
I'd play 4 centre halves, 3 old midfielders, a full back, a winger, and a striker.
All right, Allardyce, calm down. I wouldn't be against the 4 centre backs because it has worked. Maybe push Dean up on the left, but I don't know. Just don't do what we did against Leicester. Be combative before they get to the edge of our box. You don't have to invite them on all the time. that
No, we
to
did
me,
that because the two midfielders that night didn't have any energy to get around and put a tackle in. If we started with Decore and Alan and Davis, I don't think that happens. Still sit deep
yeah.
and then win the ball back. We've got to
I
have
think
an
this,
outball as well, whether that be Josh King or Calvert-Lewin. We can't just play Sigurdsson up front and ask him to ask about on the halfway line. We've got to have an outball.
yeah, you're right. I'd like to see Alan come back in this game if he's fit. I think this type of game that we need him in. Davies as well. I think he's got to play to Corey picks himself. So that midfield three all day. I just don't want to see Sigurdsson. I don't want to see Gomez. I'd be fine seeing James if we're playing that middle three. I think we could cope with having him. But obviously,
as a number 10 behind the striker, I wouldn't be against Gylfi Sigurdsson playing in this one. He played a similar role against Chelsea.
He did all right in that game.
He's good at sticking to his position without the ball. It's when you have to break teams down and he just passes it back to the centre half. He's no good at. When he's sitting behind the ball, he's quite good for shaping that. So if it was Alan, Decore and Sigurdsson, I wouldn't really have too much of an issue, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as long as it's only one of Sigurdsson and Gomez and James, then I'll have that. I don't think James will play this one. I think they'll probably rest him, given he went off in that Fulham game.
Yeah, I'll centre him more closely to the derby than I would this one. This is one where I think you need to do a lot without the ball, and I don't think that suits James.
No, not at all. I think we might see Iwobi ready to play. I think you could see Iwobi back in for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll definitely see Iwobi if Calvert-Lewin doesn't play, because I think we'll probably see Richarlison through the middle this time. So it could be Iwobi right, Richarlison in the middle, and then maybe even
on the left with the centre halves and across the back four.
I think that's a likely lineup, if I'm honest. But you never know with Carlo. Like, he's surprised us a few times with the lineup. But I'm not as pessimistic as you lads. I think there's a result to get there. It's not easy. It's the best team in the land. But I don't see it as an unwinnable game. I see it as a game. If you turn up and you have the right mentality and the right application, then you can get a result, draw or a win. More likely a draw, but a win as well, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with the point from this one, to be honest. Let's just get out of there. And, if it was one game in the week, I'd be like, yeah, let's go and try and win this. But, we've got a big game on Saturday as well. And we've come off the back of a game as well, off the back of 120 minutes before that. It's very hectic. We've got to try and manage this as well as we can. I think Carlo's as well equipped as anyone to do that, manage the personnel.
Yeah.
But it's a tough ask.
We will see.
It's a tough ask. I think Carlo thought he was managing the personnel well. He probably did from a solely personnel, fitness standpoint. He might have done the right things on Sunday, but obviously from a tactical standpoint, that didn't work out. We just got to hope whatever he does against City is far more effective, because we could be in for a hiding otherwise.
If we're giving a political answer, if we turn up an hour before the game and see a diamond, we probably won't get anything from the game.
Yeah, it's one of them. Whenever you see the team sheet, though, you can never predict the formation it's going to be at times, as well as the, not just the outcome of the game. It's always a bit of a challenge to guess what the formation is recently.
We're just going to have to take this one with a pinch of salt for me, because I think these are a strong side, and it's unlikely we'll get anything from the game, is what I'll say. But there's a chance it's the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, the Premier League's been insane this season.
It wouldn't surprise
we'll just have to wait.
The game, but I would consider it unlikely.
We'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, there's a lot of threat in their team. The one thing I will say is they're not the tallest side. I think if we make it physical, it could get we could restrict them a bit more. But there needs to be that physical, combative nature in this performance. I just want to make sure that we have that performance rather than what we saw against Fulham, where it was really passive and lethargic. There needs to be a physical side to this game, and they need to give everything.
It's going to have to be a competitive performance.
We're going to
get anything we can. walk around the pitch and expect to get.
Yeah, it's just one of them. We just gotta. I think they'll definitely have loads more of the ball than we will, but we've just got to make sure that when it comes to the battles, the 50-50s, we've got to give as good as we get, and when we do that, we show we can be a real nuisance to even the best sides, but we just don't do it consistently enough. And the Fulham game showed that if we can do it, you never know what we could get against City. It's just a case of whether the players turn up on the day and whether they fancy a bit of a battle, because that is literally, if we fight, we can do anything. If we don't, we got no chance from minute one. As we've said, at many an Everton game, you can suss it out from the first 5 minutes whether we're up for it or not, and we've just got to be up for it at the end of the day. There's not more Carlo can do, really.
We won't have 5 minutes to suss it out in this game. If we start badly, they'll put a few past us.
Yeah,
we have to be on it from minute
down
one.
By 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be a perfect performance to beat them. We just have to hope that we can get something from the game.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll finish with the predictions, guys. Own prediction.
0-2.
Derry.
2-2.
2-2. Bloody hell.
He was talking about the low block and defending before. Now he's predicting a 4-goal thriller.
I'm going down the middle on you between you guys. I think I'll go down the middle. I'll go for it. I think we'll go down 2-1, to be honest. But I think whatever happens, even if they lose 2-1 to City, we'll see a major improvement from the Fulham game just to manage that. So, and if that's the case, then that's a step forward, and hopefully we can go into that derby on Saturday with a bit more positivity than if we don't turn up at all against City, because that could be pretty bad if we don't. But I do think we'll see some sort of response. The one good thing about Carlo's reign so far is that whenever we have put in a really poor performance, we have turned up the next game. So whatever happens, I think we'll see a far improved performance from the team that we saw against Fulham.
Likely.
Fingers crossed anyway. I hope doesn't bear thinking about if we don't. But anyway, guys, let us know your opinions. Drop us a comment below. Let us know your predictions and how you're feeling going into this game. How you feel we can best maybe combat City and whatnot. Drop us a comment. Give this a like as well, this video. And subscribe for more content as well as we move through a very hectic schedule. Until next time, thank you for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.